our stock of the day. Let's get to it. It is IDP Education, that ticker code IEL. Now, this is in the context of student visa approvals coming down. Look at across a number of countries, Canada, well, here in Australia, the UK, the US. Now, Macquarie downgrading IDP Education to underperform and slashing its price target from $5.45 to $2.35, currently sitting at $2.22 there. That global crackdown on visas, Dean, how do you see it? Is there more to go? We look at the share price, it's down some 60% over the past 12 months.
Oh, yeah.
Is it a buying opportunity? Would you go there? What are you seeing?
Yeah, it's a real catch-a-falling knife scenario. I mean, look at IDP Education. It peaked at $38. It's now at $2. So a couple of things. Not often you see brokers putting underperform on a stock. You know, maybe this is a little bit of catch-up, but to see them going, I think this is going to underperform the market given how far it's fallen, is a real sign that there's some trouble there. The company, really surprisingly, like they are down like kind of 15-20% today. The last thing they did was upgrade their earnings guidance. So on a this year's basis, it does look really cheap. But it's kind of like this government-driven business. So like governments drive how many students can come in. A lot like childcare. When things start going the other way, it really impacts the market. The company's pretty well shorted. It does have some net debt, around 200 million. So I think the fear at the moment is a capital raise is potentially coming. Look, I think momentum's such a strong factor in the market that it's not one you'd probably want to be in at the moment. But look, if they're going to do 130 EBIT on a market cap of 600 million, it looks really, really cheap. But just a lot of government headwinds, both here, UK and Canada.
All right, so potentially a value trap.
Oh, definitely a value trap. Yeah.
If you're already there, though, what would you do with it?
Be very depressed, I think. I mean, look, it's trading at a record low. It listed in 2015 at like $3 a share or something. As I said, went up more than 10 times, so amazing result. But it's just going backwards. I'd say, at the end of May, take some tax losses. Realise those losses, get some tax back, and move on to something that's going up.
Jumbe, so specifically Macquarie, they're quoting obviously those change to student visa volumes, plus the stronger Aussie dollar as well, which has hurt it. Overall softer demand, overall there's headwinds, therefore derailing its earnings guidance, despite, as Dean said, it did upgrade most recently in terms of its guidance there. So how do you see it?
Yeah, so I spoke to I spoke to the company and I spoke to the Macquarie. So I think the downgrade is particularly recently, a lot of visa has been rejected. So I don't know if it's come from the top or maybe just the quality of the student application. So there's high rejection that's coming through at the moment. So that's why Macquarie came through and said, look, it's actually looking very weak. But speaking to the company, it's actually because IDP is high quality operator, so their application is a little bit higher than the rest of the industry. So they have said that there's really not much change from what it was. So things are still tracking as expectations. So potentially there's no downgrade as the market is indicating. I think tactically it's a buy. For it to fall 16% on that downgrade, people really worry about earnings downgrade, and I think the downgrade is probably not going to eventuate. However, if you're going to take a longer term view, what's happening though, this company is really impacted by all the government's outlook for population growth. Now, Australia's been talking about trying to curb population. The easiest way to curb population is students. So unfortunately, I think every country is still going through it, whether it's UK, it's here. I think Canada's maybe moving to a little bit more friendly policy now.
Well, but it has cracked down over the past 3 years.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I think everyone's looking forward to the change in policy, and unfortunately, that's still going to be very tough for the next 12 to 18 months. Australia is being the biggest market for them, is going to be tough as well. So look, tactically, I'm saying you probably got 15% upside here when they don't downgrade. Things are still tracking okay, but it just got to watch out all the policies for this company. Used to be market darling. I just don't see how it can turn very quickly in terms of the outlook.
Yeah, not with the success of like Pauline Hanson and One Nation recently. That's not going to help things if they end up like.
Well, that is a global trend, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Against immigration. Right. So are you calling that then a short-term buy?
It's a short-term buy.
Yeah, okay, all right. So a slightly different perspective there on IDP Education. That is our stock of the day.